How's it going, boys? In today's video, we'll be going over some of the strongest weapons in COD Zombies history. To keep things a little more interesting, we won't be counting snipers, explosives, shotguns, and any semi-automatic weapons that have less than 10 bullets in the mag, or else this list would basically be a snipers and explosives list. We're also only going to be taking a look at the packapunch version of each gun, and we'll be totaling the base damage along with the headshot multiplier. Feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and without wasting any more time, let's get right to it. Coming in at number 5 on today's list, we have the Gorgon, or when upgraded, Athena Spear. Yes, you heard me right, the Gorgon. I know, feel free to roast me in the comments. But as it turns out, the Gorgon's actually quite powerful. And I'm speaking from personal experience because the Gorgon got me to around 75 on Kino. It has a base damage of 450, which is insane. But with a headshot multiplier of 4 times, it brings it up to a max damage of 1800. The fire rate is a problem at 327 rounds per minute, but with double tap, it only increases and the damage also increases. As for the ammo, it has quite a lot for something so powerful at 100 in the mag and 500 in reserve. I do gotta say though, the reload speed is awful at 5.5 seconds or 6 seconds when empty. I know the Gorgon isn't the most conventional gun to use, especially when training, but if you use it to its strengths, mainly by camping, you'll find yourself not being in a bad situation for a very long time. Now the list only gets crazier as we go, so let's move on to the next gun on the list. At number 4, we have the MX Grand, or when upgraded, Lang Ping's Beast. For a semi-auto rifle, this thing really packs a punch, no pun intended. It has a base damage of 500, and with the 5 times headshot multiplier, it shoots up to 2500 damage per shot. The fire rate isn't the best, but it is a semi-auto, so it's kinda hard to notice at 324 rounds per minute. And for ammo, it has a lot. I mean, a lot for the damage. At 30 in the mag and 300 in reserve. The reload speed, unlike the Gorgon, is fast at 2.1 seconds. A lot of people kind of brush off the MX Grand, but I highly recommend giving it a try. I use the MX to get to around 50 on Verrucht, and it's a one-shot to the head until the early 30s with double tap, of course. Now, the MX Grand is one of the most powerful semi-autos in COD history, but there's one more that's almost twice as strong as it. Can you take a guess? I'll give you a few seconds. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Introducing the strongest semi-auto rifle in COD Zombies history, we have the M14, or when upgraded, the Amnesia from Black Ops 3. I don't even know where to start with this gun, it's just so beyond broken. It leaves every other gun in the dust by miles. It has a base damage of 700, but with a headshot multiplier of 6 times, it bumps all the way up to 4200. You heard me right, 4200. The fire rate is slightly worse than the MX Grand at 300 rounds per minute. As for ammo, it's a bit worse than the MX Grand, but when you're doing that much damage, there's gotta be some type of trade-off. It has 16 in the mag and 208 in reserve. The reload speed isn't too awful at 2.4 seconds or 3.4 seconds when empty. I know people know the M14 is strong, but I don't think it gets appreciated as much as it should in Black Ops 3. You don't even have to double pack-a-punch this thing. You can get one-shot kills to the head up until the mid to late 30s with double tap. Now that we've covered all the quote-unquote normal guns, here's where things really kick off. At number 2, we have the best energy weapon in COD Zombies history, the Rift E9, or when upgraded, the Elder Invader. Kind of a lame name, but oh well. But yeah, this is just crazy. And when I mean crazy, I mean it's the only gun to ever come close to the number 1 spot in terms of damage. Everything else is so far behind it. It has a base damage of 3200. Its base damage is higher than the MX Grand's, even with the headshot multiplier. Speaking of headshot multipliers, it has a 10 times headshot multiplier, shooting the damage all the way up to 32,000. Just let that process for a little bit. Basically, you have to shoot 12 MX Grand shots to equal a single burst from the Rift, and it's a 2-shot burst, so basically the whole mag. The fire rate is what drags this gun down a bit, with the fire rate of 512 rounds per minute, and since it's a burst weapon, it does get dragged down to 186 rounds per minute. As for ammo, we got plenty, with 68 in the mag and 272 in reserve. Like, that's illegal. That's just illegal. And for the amount of damage it does, the reload speed is laughably low at 2.4 seconds or 2.9 seconds when empty. It can have the Gorgon's reload speed, and I wouldn't be mad at it because every shot is worth it. There is one more gun on the list that's stronger than the Rift, and most of you probably know what it is, but if you're still clueless, I'll give you a second to guess. Alright, let's go. At number 1 on today's list, we have the Mauser, or when upgraded, the Boomhilde. Yeah, not really a surprise. The Boomhilde is just cracked, man. It has a base damage of 1000, lower than the Rift's, but with an extremely high 50 times headshot multiplier, it more than makes up for it and clears it with a total damage of 50,000. Like, what? And unlike the Rift, the fire rate is very fast at 600 rounds per minute. Where we do run into problems is with the ammo though, with 50 in the mag and 150 in reserve. So you gotta be aware of how often you're firing this thing. The reload speed is quite tricky since there's no data on it, but I'm just gonna assume it's similar to the M1911 at 1.6 seconds or 1.8 seconds when empty. Something even more crazy is that the damage I'm showing is without double tap. So I double the damage to all these guns and it becomes that much greater. That's gonna do it for today's video, lads. Hope y'all enjoyed. Making this list required way more math than I enjoyed doing. I would say leave a comment if you disagreed with any of the weapons on this list, but apparently numbers don't lie. But I'd like to know, what's your favorite weapon to use in zombies? Feel free to leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on future videos, and with that being said, I will see you all in the next one. BAM!